just feel like Pathfinder's not working for me.
I'm the jump master.
No,
this
I'm not.
time.
Great. Our fate is in the hands of a guy named Pooperstroodle.
Do you ever reach the point in grinding Apex Legends that you feel like just giving up on your main because things aren't working, and every random is a pea-brained douche nozzle who only knows how to press W, and you'll never see the other side of Platinum because you can only survive long enough to be the last player on your squad and then try to camp out single-digit RP? That's where I was in this game, and I had nearly had my fill of Platinum 4, but I decided to give it one more go for the day. I felt, rather than heard, enemies to my right and wanted to get to the back corner of this building without taking any damage. It sounded like a whole war was breaking out above my head. Then I hear the enemy next to us go for the revive. An enemy Bangalore drops her airstrike, and instead of looking for the revive, I push out to the bin for some cover from the left. I look for the revive left, I look for the revive right, then remember my bin. Voices tell me I'm in view of the enemy, so I break behind my bin and notice this guy under the bridge right as I activate my tactical, so I loop around. Our Bloodhound goes down suddenly, and I'm just trying to keep any threats at a distance. I decide to retake our building when I hear an enemy squad reviving on the roof, but I'm a Wraith this time because I had given up on Pathfinder, and that would prove a fortunate choice later. Valkyrie and Bloodhound join me, but we are frightfully low on any shields, and we're going to need to reposition soon if we're going to resupply. Shield swaps prove futile as there's nothing left on either of them, and Valkyrie pokes at another team. Suddenly, I catch a Rampart thinking she's going to flank us. Rampart's teammates start shooting at Bloodhound, and I use my tactical to reposition to the only high ground I see, hoping to catch this attacker unawares. After that, Wraith takes off, and I make sure there's no more pests on the roof. I rejoin my team. Or at least I think I do, because they've moved outside to the drainage ditch. Bloodhound goes down, and I move to provide assistance, but there's still someone on the roof!
Oh, for the love of God. Dang it.
At this rate, I'm thinking, yeah, Valka's just gonna play her life, and I'm gonna be honest, I lost any hope of completing this match whatsoever.
Just go.
In fact, I'm honest enough to admit I alt-tab switched to something else, just waiting for this to end, but ToastyBoy43 had other ideas. I heard him take shots and thought, yep, that's it, but I kept listening. I didn't even see him pass by this respawn beacon, but I did hear him take more ring damage and take another jump tower. I heard all the blips and thought, surely he's going to be surrounded and die. Unbelievably, nothing of the sort happened, and he got us back into the game. There was some hope of gaining some more RP after all, but there wasn't much we could do at this point. It was late in the match and all the good loot was already picked up. Stuck with the same weapons and no shields, at least I had my life. My teammates joined the battle and I looked for any ammo. Bloodhound went down and I thought I had abandoned my team to certain death while I asked myself how come they chose not to resupply.
Reloading. Under fire. Bandit down. I've got you. Hey, how about no more dying today? Last one down. I'm the new kill leader. And
Somehow, Toasty Boy finished off a squad, and I headed back their direction.
Well, I've got a little bit of ammo.
Alert 5, Valkyrie actual. Ready for burn. How copy? Main
Then I heard Valkyrie activate the ultimate and figured, well, I mean, they thought I left, and turnabout's fair play, but knowing how smart Toasty Boy was, I held out hope that he was waiting for me to join them on the other side.
Gotta hand it to you. You know how to play Valkyrie.
That's right, Toasty Boy did know how to play Valkyrie, and he had done his job. Now it was my duty to see this match through to the bitter end.
We gotta be careful. We got people up here.
Hostile spotted. Got a bandit. Taking fire. Opening.
Suddenly, my life flashed before my eyes as the one consistent part of this squad, the man who single-handedly saved our collective tookuses, went down. But I was determined that this paragon of Outland's virtue would not die on my watch. So I activated my one last ounce of good aim. I didn't care if we were in the low ground. I was going to get Valkyrie up and, well, there went our last hope for victory. As I started taking shots, I queued out of there and retreated to the cover of the rocks and that distant crate. I had seen this movie before and I knew how it ended. The enemy team would converge on Valkyrie's death box and mow us down like October's tall grass.
Well, you died honorably.
It was fine. I had 2 kills, and if I could somehow outlast one more squad, I might eke out a few more points. Bloodhound took some fire as he moved to the building, and I knew at any moment he'd be hunted down. With no good place to wait and the ring converging, we were doomed to be picked off by one of 5 other teams just waiting to snipe down into this valley. Then suddenly,
Oh,
Bloodhound called down a mobile respawn beacon, and I couldn't believe my ears. Was he actually trying to win? I might have given up in despair, thinking we had exhausted all possibilities and I had relegated myself to postponing my inevitable demise, but Pooperstroodle had not. He was the one truly grateful to Toasty Boy, and I was a measly, cowardly ingrate with no character. Turns out Bloodhound made a smart play putting it by the door as I narrowly avoided that aforementioned sniper. While Valkyrie was respawning, I kept an eye on our flank to watch for the inevitable descent of the enemy, sensing fresh blood entering the battlefield. But to my astonishment, no one came. What was this? A Tokyo lobby where enemies let you respawn so that they can face you in honorable combat?
squad sitting right here.
As the ring came in, I knew we had to move, and our only hope was to hug one of the canyon walls. Since this squad on the right was fighting, I knew their attention was elsewhere, and I decided to push the rotation. Maybe we could flank them and push them off, or at least face our deaths with courage. I took shots on the Gibraltar, but I only had my newly minted blue shield. As the ring forced me in, Gibraltar domed up, and though his teammate had potato aim, I couldn't hope to best all 3 by myself. I threw a grenade and Bloodhound went down, and surely this was the moment of our doom. No one could look down on me, so I waited for the inevitable drop. Maybe I could catch one of them by surprise as he came down, but no one did. They danced around above my head but didn't make a move, and Seer's ultimate expired. Seer deployed his tactical and took some shots, but they were not about to give up their god spot. It would prove a disastrous choice for them.
We are so screwed right here.
In any other match of Apex Legends, in any lightsaber duel in Star Wars, in any theater of warfare, one truth remains the same. He who holds the high ground wins. Here in this final circle, with 4 other squads around us, we could not possibly have had any lower ground compared to our teammates than this spot in Kings Canyon. I knew if we ran out of our spot, we were exposed, so I did what Wraith does best and gave us another lease on life against this cliff face. All we could do now was keep to the rocks and watch our heads. I gave this Wraith something to think about. This was my low ground death trap, not hers. Bloodhound picked off a straggler while the other squads were engaged. With gunfire going on all around us, and as I took the brunt of a Valkyrie tactical, I knew this was the end for us. For the 4th, 5th time? I don't know. To his credit, our Bloodhound really did some work over there and made himself the kill leader. If I had any guts, I would have been there with him, but I was frozen in place, watching for other squads, ready to report on movements. I moved to the rock at the edge of the circle, keeping my eye on the other 2 remaining squads. I saw an opening and took a shot, downing a weak player. The squad above me went across to push the attack. As I shielded up and fought to look for some ammo in this box, Bloodhound activated his ultimate and Valkyrie activated his jetpack, and I soon realized they were pushing this fight without me. And that was it. I pushed up the hill to at least put a dent in this final fight. With Valkyries down, I saw only 2 squads were left. I held down the trigger on my Eva and held on for dear life.
No way. No way.
So stunned was I by this victory that all I could do was laugh.
Oh my gosh.
You are the Apex champions.
Cannot believe it. Toasty Boy, you are my favorite player ever.
Toasty Boy making the most epic escape I've ever seen to respawn us both. Pooperstroodle boldly resurrecting Toasty Boy under enemy fire, me just trying to keep my mental together after a full day of frustration, and it made me realize something. Just because all seems lost doesn't mean it is. If a team holds it together and plays smart, taking just the right opportunities as they come, the match is never out of reach. Even if you don't have the high ground, you can make the right plays to stay in the fight, and timing is everything. I vowed from this moment that I would never give up again, because you can't see opportunity when you're blinded by despair. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop a like down below, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'll see you in the next one later.